Hello, I'm Charlotte Sripathma. We start this hour with some breaking news. Authorities in Russia have confirmed the head of the Wagner group, paramilitary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, has died in a plane crash which crashed northwest of Moscow on Wednesday. They confirmed the identities of the bodies recovered corresponded with the flight's passenger list, which had named Mr. Prigozhin. Now, the mercenary leader had led an aborted mutiny against the Russian military in June, amid growing tension with Russian commanders over the war in Ukraine. He'd since relocated to Belarus, and you can see him on our screens now speaking a few months ago. Well, live now to BBC's monitoring Russian editor Vitaly Shevchenko. Vitaly, we sort of suspected this was the case, and now we've got confirmation that Prigozhin has indeed died in that crash?
Yes, this short announcement by Russia's official investigations committee came as no surprise to anyone. Yevgeny Prigozhin and his right-hand man, Dmitry Utkin, as well as a couple of other key commanders from the Wagner mercenary group, they were presumed dead following the air crash 4 days ago. Now, the big question is, what caused Yevgeny Prigozhin's plane to crash? And even though the investigations committee said on Friday that it was looking at every possible version of what happened, few independent observers would trust that government agency to come up with the full and complete truth of what happened, because it is completely controlled by the Kremlin. And as we know, there was a growing chorus of voices arguing that getting rid of Yevgeny Prigozhin would possibly be a way for Vladimir Putin to reassert his authority following Wagner's failed mutiny back in June. But that again is speculation, completely unconfirmed. And as I say, the Russian Investigations Committee is hardly an independent investigative agency to look into it.
And Vitaly, we've heard from President Putin in the last couple of days about him asking mercenaries to pledge their allegiance to Russia.
Indeed, that's a presidential decree that was issued with immediate effect on Friday, and it can be seen as a way to strengthen government control over the proliferating number of private military companies involved in the so-called special military operation against Ukraine. But it remains to be seen whether the move will be anything more than a symbolic gesture where new recruits will be made to kneel before the Russian flag and swear allegiance to the Russian Federation and the Russian Constitution. As things stand at the moment, it's difficult to see it as a bulletproof way of making sure that whoever signs up to join the fight against Ukraine stays loyal to Russia's official top brass, as it were. But it's clearly a concern in the Kremlin that all these private groups, even though we know now that Wagner was funded by the state, but it's still a concern that these groups can have more loyalty to their commanders rather than the Russian Defense Ministry.
Indeed. And Vitaly, how is this playing out in Russia? How are people reacting to this plane crash?
Well, questions are being asked, and even though state television, it didn't exactly play up the importance of the crash. The reports that it broadcast were short and dry, and merely said that Yevgeny Prigozhin's name was on the list of passengers declared as flying there, and there was absolutely no effort to explain the significance of what happened or speculate about the possible causes. But still, Russians can access social media, and that's where a lot of speculation is happening. For example, social media accounts linked to Wagner. Hours after the plane crash, they started speculating that Evgeny Prigozhin's plane had been shot down deliberately by Russian air defenses. They stopped short of pointing the finger of blame at the Kremlin directly, but that's one popular theory circulating among commentators on Russian social media.
Okay, Vitaly, we'll have to leave it there. BBC Monitoring's Russian editor, Vitaly Shevchenko, thank you very much.